everybody, welcome back to EQ. Today's expression, easy English expression, is a very good one. We're going to talk about the expression and its pronunciation. The expression is harder than you think. Harder than you think. Alright, so let's talk about pronunciation first of all. Harder than you think. And this is actually very difficult because of the R, the D, the R, the TH, and the TH. That makes it tough. And if I can help a little bit, first of all, you need to hit these R sounds. For American pronunciation, the R sound is important. Now, actually in New York and Boston, that part of America, the R sound is weak. Harder. It's harder than you think. It's harder than you think. It almost sounds like this. Very similar. Harder than you think. But for most of America, we'll say harder than you think. Harder, harder. Now, the harder, when we do the R sound, the tip of the tongue touches nothing. But when we do the D, it's a slight touch on top, on the alveolar ridge. These are your upper teeth. These are your lower teeth in your mouth. Your tongue is here. When you do the D, 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 harder, the D is usually right here. This is usually the D position for a D. But when we say harder than you think, the faster we say it, we're actually touching about right here. It's actually up there. Why? Because when we do the R sound, the tongue is pointing in this area. So when we say this word really fast, har, har, this is the R, harder, it just touches right there. It doesn't go down. Harder, harder, harder. Perfect. Harder, harder, harder. Typical. This is the typical pronunciation, which makes it really tough. Or maybe it will make it easier for some of you. Now, than. This is what we call a vibrated or a voiced TH. Than. Think. This is an aspirated or a voiceless TH. When you say it really fast, they sound very similar. Don't worry too much about that. Also, this pronunciation is than. However, in daily English pronunciation, it sounds just like then. You sounds like y. Harder than you think. Typical pronunciation, harder than you think. It's 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 harder than you think. Okay? You don't have to say it fast. You can say it slow. It's not easy. Practice, 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 practice. You have to practice. Okay? Now, what does it mean? It means it's more difficult than you expected. You thought it would be easy, but it's actually really difficult. The pronunciation of this expression looks easy, right? Harder than you think looks easy, but if you want to say it quickly, it's harder. Oh my God, it's much more difficult than I thought. That's the idea. It's a good expression. We use it a lot. Check out the dialogue. When I retire, I want an easy job for fun. Maybe something at a coffee shop.
You are so mean!
What?
You think working at a coffee shop is easy? It's much harder than you think.
You know, there are no easy jobs. If you do your job well, it requires energy, thought, physical energy, mental energy. There are no easy jobs. So if you think somebody has an easy job, probably that's not the case. They probably think a lot about it. They probably prepare, mentally prepare. Now, the more you do your job, the easier it becomes. Some people learn quickly, some people take longer, but there are no easy jobs, even at a coffee shop. I used to work at a supermarket. I was the bag boy. I put groceries in bags, and I put cans of soup on the shelf, and I took the shopping carts and put them in the store. That was my job, and it's an easy job. Mentally, you would think it doesn't take many brains, but actually, being nice to people, memorizing where every product is, knowing the prices, knowing when there's a problem, knowing what people need when they try to explain something, learning all the vegetables and all the different types of meat and all the different types of soups and whatever, it requires some brains. And I wanted to be a good grocery store clerk, and I was. So yeah, it was kind of an easy job, but I took pride in my job, and I was professional. Therefore, people appreciated it. And they said, wow, good job, thank you very much. People said thank you every day. They liked it because I took my job seriously. So if you take your job, your work seriously, there is no easy job. Every job can be much harder than you think. You'd be surprised. Are there some easy jobs out there? Yeah. When I retire, I might want to have an easy job. Can you think of any easy jobs? If you can think of an easy job, leave a comment down below. And if somebody leaves a comment, for example, a security guard is an easy job, and you disagree, then say, no, it's not an easy job because this, and use the expression, it's harder than you think. It's a great expression. Not just for math. Math is harder than you think. English pronunciation is harder than you think. Relationships. Having good relationships. It's harder than you think. Having a good relationship takes a lot of work. Once you get married, free. Yes, I'm done working on my relationship. No. After you get married, then the real work of having a good relationship begins. It's harder than you think. Teaching English on YouTube at home, so simple. No, it's harder than you think. It's a great expression. Use the expression, work on the pronunciation. It's not easy, it takes practice, and I'll probably see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. When I retire, I want an easy job for fun. Maybe something at a coffee shop.
You are so mean!
What?
You think working at a coffee shop is easy? It's much harder than you think.
When I retire, I want an easy job for fun. Maybe something at a coffee shop.
You are so mean!
What?
You think working at a coffee shop is easy? It's much harder than you think.
When I retire, I want an easy job for fun. Maybe something at a coffee shop.
You are so mean!
What?
You think working at a coffee shop is easy? It's much harder than you think.